me fire, give me that one to the side. Welcome back to Wind Tunnel TV and the Kickin Assphalt Xfinity series. We're here on the countdown to green live from Richmond Raceway. Going to be a heck of a race here on this short track tonight. I'm Dean Doucette, in the booth with me, Mr. Jared Carr. Jared, a little short track action here.
Yeah, we got the 3/4 of a mile Richmond Raceway, Dean. It's going to be a tough track. And we're going to see some bumping and banging out there tonight and see what these guys can do with that.
Yeah, guys out here qualifying as we speak, taking it on. Let's get into our race info here. We got our keys to the race. Track position, always huge at a short track. Pitting, we throw it in every week because not only do we say it's important, it proves it almost each and every week as someone makes a mistake or gains some kind of position. And here tonight, staying clean, Jared. I mean, it can be, you can get rough out here at Richmond at times, and you got to keep it clean.
You got to keep it clean, and you got to keep it on the track. And I don't mean like a road course like we had last week. I mean, like, you want to make sure you keep all four wheels pointed in the right direction, because this track can sneak up on you. A lot of off-camber turns. You come off turn 2, it flattens out big time, Dean. I mean, it is a difficult track to run on. You want to make sure you keep them wheels all going the right direction.
You absolutely do. As we look in on our championship standings, Brandon Banks still in the lead, holding a 3-point lead over Anthony Crownover. It's Eric Schaffer in third. He's 6 points back. You got Pries, Newbraugh, Lamb, Kinsey, Hannah, Cook, and Paw in your top 10. Others looking for their way into which will eventually be a playoff season. So, you know, looking for a win here tonight and looking for some big points nights tonight, Jared.
Exactly right. And, you know, it's already about getting into that middle of the season mark. And I think that these guys are kind of looking at, you know, where they're going to stack up in those points.
They really are. I mean, you've got to always be looking at it. I mean, I can speak from personal experience that, you know, only a couple of races in and you're already thinking about the ones that got away. So you've got to be on it from the beginning of the season until now. Right now, qualifying, winding down. Let's take a look in on our board. It's Pries on the top of the board during qualifying tonight with Holland in second. So a little switch up front here from what we've seen lately.
Yeah, I was looking at that board right now when you're talking, Dean. I mean, Jesse Pries up top, but Holland with a great qualifying. How about Crownover, Banks, Brown? That's your top 5. A little bit of a smaller field tonight, so we'll kind of see where everybody kind of shakes out here at Richmond.
Yeah, a little bit smaller field here, but that's kind of a good thing. You know, you're here at Richmond. You need some room to race, and maybe you're going to have it here. So it's going to be interesting to see how they get it done. Qualifying all wrapped up now. We should be moving in to tonight's starting grid as guys start to get lined up and ready to go. Look in on that filter time car, Brian Bizzle. I really like the look of that car. I don't know what it is about those like white and light blue combinations, but I think they look pretty sharp.
Yeah, a lot of great paints out here, Dean. I mean, that is definitely for sure. And yeah, very nice paints.
Very nice indeed.
Sorry, I got a train of thought loss. I was trying to think where I saw that, where that paint came up at, Dean, but I'm just drawing a blank on it. Sorry.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of the old Oreo car, something like that.
Yeah,
maybe a Hellman's car. But anyway, let's get into tonight's starting grid. It's Jesse Pries in the 04 with a time of 22.246, sitting on the pole for JD Motorsports. Wesley Holland making his second race here. He won last week on that road course, dominating the event. A very, very good race for him in his debut. The one will be starting second. Row number 2, Anthony Crownover, Brandon Banks. Then you got David E. Brown and Chad Bessinger. Brown, of course, second last week, and he showed very well. If it wasn't for Holland's debut, Brown would have been your winner. Hannah and Kostritza will be in row 4, and Kinsey and Bizzle in row number 5.
Yeah, we look back at row number 6. We got Lamb and Hughes. Row 7 will be Marshall Layton and Pete Woodrum. Row number 8, Michael Newbraugh and Cook. And row number 9, the final row, is Smith and Darren Paul.
Alright, everybody getting ready. Looking forward to this one. Pries up front with Holland there. Crownover, you know he's going to be attacking early. Banks, your points leader, always up near the front. Bessinger and Hannah, I think there's going to be some action up front tonight, Jared.
Yeah, I think there is. We got a lot of guys up here. Pries looking for a win. One thing, David Lamb not here tonight, so that is, David, very good driver and beatable, but, he's one of the emissions here tonight. And Eric Schaffer not here tonight, so a couple of big names missed.
Yeah, definitely. Those two going to be missed here tonight, no doubt about that. But, one guy's misfortune, another guy's opportunity. Look for guys like Cody Kinsey or, Kostritza, maybe a Mark Hanna getting up here and having themselves a big night. Pace car is off, and the TikTok machine of Pries leads them down to the start-finish line. Green flag is out, and we're on our way here at Richmond Raceway.
Good move by Holland on the outside, but he's not going to be able to stick it down in there. Pries going to slide up the racetrack, up into the high groove. That's going to open the door for Crownover to stick his nose underneath Holland, who's trying to fight back on the outside. He's going to clear him going into turn 3.
Well, we said Crownover is going to come early, and he's already shown it. And now Holland coming hard on Pries for the race lead. He's going to get underneath him.
Pries will lead lap 1. Holland to the inside. Holland to the front of the field. Crownover looking underneath Pries for second. Oh, and the 54 Hannah hits the wall coming off turn 2.
Hannah looks like he's gathered it up and all is okay. Banks is down a couple of spots. Bessinger's down one. But up front, Holland, last week's winner, already setting the pace here as Pries, either unwilling or unable to run that pace. I think he's probably looking to take care of his stuff a little bit better here, Jared.
Yeah, it's a difficult decision, right? Richmond, not a track that is high on the list of abrasive tracks on tires. It's not Atlanta, it's not Auto Club, not Dover, not Rockingham, nothing like that. But you do want to manage your tires. The Xfinity car can be very difficult on tires no matter where you're racing at. And sometimes it's just good to kind of let that pace come to you rather than go chasing it as Crownover looks underneath Pries in turn 4.
Well, as you talk about that, so right here, as you got Crownover, who's, digging hard here and hunting, not only him, but Pries is on the outside, and well, he's going to let him go here. I think that's a smart job, but I was going to say, Crownover is giving a little bit hard. You say this track not that hard on tires, but these kind of things, they will still hurt you on the long run, will they not?
Oh, yeah, and that's any track. Even Kansas, a track that's really easy on tires. You run it really hard, and it's going to wear your tires out. So, you're definitely doing that. And I think Pries, watching him run the line, I think he is really set up for a long run, Dean. I expect this zero car to come to the front sooner than later because he's kind of running like a mid to low line through 3 and 4, and then he's running a little bit higher in 1 and 2 than the rest of the field is.
Yeah, I was going to say, mate, he looks a little tight, but it could be just that he's unwilling to crank that wheel to get her down. He's trying to save that spot. We'll have to wait and see on that. We look in on Mark Hanna back here.
Oh, we got a car in the grass. It's Pete Woodrum on the front straightaway, Dean. Right in front of our leaders who come across the tri-oval now.
You see there, he's kind of in the racing groove. Here comes Holland. It looks like he's up to speed now, so Holland will have to deal with him, a little more evenly than him coming back up on the track.
Yeah, and I was looking at the replay. Nick Lamb got off, spun it through the corner and hit that victory lane circle down there. Pete Woodrum, just a couple cars behind him, did the exact same thing. Woodrum just trying to get that car going in the right direction now, but he'll lose a lap.
I got to tell you, Holland is checking out. I mean, you don't see that at Richmond this early in the run too often. This is unbelievable. He has opened up a 2-second gap already, Jared.
Doing a great job in that one car. We saw him last week, a debut at Coda. And, it's hard when somebody makes a debut at a road course. You don't really know if they're just a guy that's really good at road courses or if they're a good driver. And Holland really putting it together right now. He is up to a 1.9, almost 2-second gap over Crownover as Brown gets around Pries for third place.
Yeah, he got underneath him again. Pries either tight or saving, and we're speculating here, but I'm thinking he's saving, but we'll find out as this run goes along. The ever dangerous Brandon Banks, our points leader, hanging around in 5th. Looks like he's taking it easy early.
Oh, Billy O. Smith in the wall.
Billy O. Smith is taking it to the garage, so hard lick from him. We'll get a look at that in a minute, but right now it's Bessinger challenging Hanna here, and it looks like he's going to take this spot.
Bessinger with a great move off the corner, gets the move done.
Let's get a look in on happy.
Well, actually, Billy O. Smith, it looks like he just pulled off, Dean. I thought he hit the wall, but didn't see anything on the replay. He just pulled off and parked it on the back straightaway, so interesting.
Maybe we'll skip looking in on that then. But right now, Bessinger pulling away from Hanna. We look back behind him. Here comes Bizzle. Bizzle's already up a couple of spots. He's showing speed here early on in the season. You got Jason Hughes in 9th and Kudstritza back here in 10th. Bit of a surprise to see Kudstritza and Kinsey in 11th. And you got Newbraugh as well. And I know what you think of Newbraugh and his long run ability. Maybe he'll come forward.
Yeah, Michael Newbraugh run that number 6 machine. I think that he will eventually start working his way forward. He is a driver that seems to have a long run. Has had a couple rough weeks in a row. He's got caught up in some accidents that weren't his doing. So, I think he's just looking for a solid run tonight. And he's right behind his teammate, Cody Kinsey, just kind of taking it easy. But these guys, Dean, you look at them, I mean, they are 10 seconds back. They're running about 22 seconds a lap. So they are already half a lap down. We're only 15 laps in.
Yeah, it doesn't take long. Let's look in on our race leader of Holland here. I mean, I don't know what. There's not a lot to see here, Jared. He's alone. He's driving, and he's got himself a 3-second lead. So maybe we'll hop on board with him here and just have a look at how he's getting around Richmond so well here.
Really smooth coming through 3 and 4. There he goes. Picks up the gas. Right at the pit lane, up the track, not really fighting that wheel. Very, very smooth on the wheel. A little bit shallow of an entry. I mean, I think that's going to be hard on the right front tire, but he might be really loose right now. Gets it right down to the apex. Great acceleration off the corner, not really fighting that wheel. Very, very, very smooth driving from him. Not a lot of left to right in the wheel. It's mostly just one angle and then hold it there, and then one angle and then hold it there. Very stable car under him tonight.
Well, Jared, you talked a little bit about the shallow. It looked like both corners he's taking a pretty shallow entry there. Now, is that something you can do? You talked about maybe he's loose. Will that help him tighten it up, a loose car, or at least keep it stable?
Yeah, so, the tighter you are, the higher up the track you're going to have to run, or can run. It depends on how you look at it. If you're loose, you're going to have to cut those corners down a lot sooner because you want to put more, basically want the dynamic weight to shift to that right front sooner and off that right rear tire. So you take a sharper angle into the corner, that'll put more heat on the right front, but it can hamper long run speed. But right now, Holland doesn't look like it's hampering too much anything. Up to a 4-second lead, 20 laps in. He's going to get into lap traffic getting around Billy O. Smith in the 48.
Yeah, Holland opening it up. Back here, David E. Brown. Looked like Pries was starting to move forward again as Brown blinks out for a minute, and you got Banks right behind him and Bessinger closing in, so the three-way battle starting to form up for 4th place here.
Yeah, Pries got around Brown again. I was looking at the last lap times. I mean, Pries and Holland pretty close on lap times, but the problem is they're close. And so Pries not making any inroads to Holland right now. I mean, 3 hundredths of a second's not going to get you back 5 seconds down.
No, not going to get it done. But, I mean, it's a points competition as well as a race. So, Pries having himself a solid night and maybe done the best he could do for that car by taking it easy earlier. Let's check a look in and see his progress. Yeah, he's made it back to Crownover. Crownover likes to go out hard, and he's paying the price already, Jared.
Crownover he's got a push loose. That car very loose off the corner, but he can't get the car to turn in the middle, and it's cost him a ton of time. I was watching him on board, and he's just really, really struggling to get the car to kind of turn into the corner. The angle almost, basically what you'd call, quote, a 90-degree angle. Gets off that corner. Not too bad right now, but a couple laps ago, he was really fighting that thing.
So Pries back up to second with that strategy. I really like the way he drives out here. Brown hanging on to fourth, Banks in fifth, Bessinger sixth, Bizzle all alone here in seventh place. He's made up 3 spots, so Bizzle's kind of found his home temporarily here. Then it's back to Hannah. Hannah fighting Jason Hughes and Sean Kostritza here. That's a battle for 8th place.
Jason Hughes making a debut tonight. Sean Kostritza right behind him had a good run at Circuit of the Americas and the week before that as well. So Kostritza, a driver that you can't count out of, always a consistent top 10 driver. And I'm looking at, some of these other guys in Crownover, he was, behind Holland, right? And now Brown is going to go underneath of him, or try to go underneath of him here. Using that lap car as a pick, can't quite get there into one. Oh, no, he's going to do it anyway.
Yeah, he's going to get there. I mean, Crownover's car has gone away, and it's gone away in a hurry, as Banks now right there as well.
Banks kind of sneaking and looking there, and he is going to just kind of show the nose and make Crownover make a decision there. And Crownover's going to have to roll the high side as Banks is coming through. And that's going to and Bessinger's right there as well as teammate. So I think Crownover a little bit aggressive out of the gate, and he has used up the good of the tires. He's got to cool them things down.
Well, even lap to lap, Jared. Now, talk about the entry to these corners, or maybe a little different entry on each. But when you drive in hard and deep into these corners, how's that going to affect just your driving for that lap, even?
I mean, it really depends. I mean, we talked about you jump on board with Crownover. And you'll notice Black Straightway is flat. There is no banking, technically 3 degrees of banking back there. But then you got this kind of 8-degree banking there. Then we go back up to 6 degrees. You can kind of see the banking there, but not quite flat. But when you're talking about the corner, so, if you're getting in high on the high side, he's got somebody underneath of him right now. But this makes it, you get a good run off the corner. But the handling is going to change so much depending on how you run this track. It's one of those tracks out here. He's really doing a good job on the high side. Might have found some grip here. You could run the high side, but Banks looks like he's going to get the move done.
Yeah, he's definitely going to get it done there. And Crownover really struggling. This whole fight here has allowed Bizzle to join up with Bessinger now. So Bizzle's caught right up here. I mean, I think it was just saying he had found a spot all by himself on the track. That no longer true. Bizzle on the march forward.
Yeah, going back to Crownover and kind of addressing what you were saying, Dean. Watching him, I can tell that he's loose entering the corner. And being loose entering the corner, whether it's a road course, a short track, any track, it's bad news, because you have to kind of pedal the brakes. You kind of have to trail brake a lot more, and it's really hard to get that car to hit your marks because you're trying to hold on to it. And I think Crownover's just kind of burned up that right rear, unfortunately. Maybe sliding the rear end in total.
Yeah, it might be. But interesting to watch Bizzle. Now, Bizzle made both passes on the high side, Jared. That is something you can do here at Richmond.
Yeah, and we were talking about when we were on board with those drivers, Dean. This is a very off-camber track. I mean, you kind of transition 8 degrees in the turns, 3 degrees on the backstretch, and 6 degrees on the front straightaway. So it's a pretty harsh transition. You watch Bizzle. I mean, it comes out. It's pretty much completely flat. If you were walking on this track, you wouldn't be able to notice 3 degrees. Bizzle, when you hang yourself up on the outside like that, those guys on the bottom, they can't get that run they need to get off the corner because it's so flat, and it really allows you to get a run there.
And you just notice, so Bizzle making that pass, but you notice how deep Crownover is going in. I mean, he is so far up the track. He is overdriving that machine. I'm not trying to pick on you, Anthony. Just calling what we notice here. The 18 seemingly overdriving these corners once in a while, as Bessinger now underneath him.
Well, Dean, I wouldn't say he's over-driving it right now. I think he has to drive in deep because the car is so loose on entry that he has to keep the speed up to make it a little bit tight. He's in the wall, hits the wall.
Yeah, and that's the problem with it all. He's just trying to hang on for dear life here. Crownover in a world of hurt right now. Kudstritza behind him, next up to try and make that work. Kinsey back in 9th and Hughes in 10th. See Newbraugh, he's starting to come forward a bit. He's got Hanna behind him. Then it's Lamb back here in 13th. You got Paw in 14th. And it's Cook right there. I believe Paw's already been lapped.
Yeah, Paw's the first driver a lap down. Nicholas Lamb will be the next one up.
So Lamb.
Holland's making big progress through the field.
Yeah, let's look in on Holland again. So Holland out here, I mean, he has opened up a 7.5 second lead at Richmond. That is unheard of. This man is really killing it out here. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, this is dominant. I mean, 7.5 seconds. I mean, he has got that thing dialed up. I mean, and now he can just kind of relax. I mean, you don't want to give up 7 seconds, but, I mean, he's got this thing really where he wants it to be at. I mean, he has got a dominant car out here tonight.
Absolutely does. Very impressive. We look in on this battle between the 6, and I'm not sure if that's a lap car or not. No, that's Hughes up high. Another guy in the wrong number. The 58 on the car, 7 on our scoring is Jason Hughes. Newbraugh making progress late as expected. The 6 looking for some long run ability here.
Yeah, he's moved up 3 spots since he started. A guy moving backwards, Mark Hanna, just got passed by both of these drivers. He was in the top 5, but he smacked that wall down. And I'm sure the handling's kind of gone away from the 54 machine back there. But these guys only about a second ahead of our race leader. So Holland's going to be coming up on these guys quick.
Yeah, we could see him in the picture behind Hannah's car. He is closing in quickly on Nicholas Lamb here. He's about to put him a lap down. And you just see he's driving in deeper, rotating that car better through the middle and better off. I mean, that car is hooked up, and Holland, he's driving the heck out of it.
Nicholas Lamb there on the outside. He's going to give way to Holland. Oh, he's going to fight him back on the high side.
Yeah, Lamb giving him a little bit of trouble there. And then you got to love the guys trying to race as long as they're racing clean here. And Holland slips up there, almost touching the wall, but not quite. Look back to Pries. Pries, 8.5 seconds down. I mean, I don't know what Holland's got underneath them. Or, how much time do you think, Jared, here, just on driving? Now, Richmond, you can outdrive someone here. There's no doubt about it. But, I mean, 8.5 seconds, quite the gap here.
I think Pries, I look at the lap times. I mean, they're very similar. So is Banks to Holland. But I think Pries just may have been a little bit too conservative at the start. I think maybe he thought maybe we get some cautions or something could have happened there. And, he let some guys go and had to fight back by him. And I think he just gave up too much time. Maybe underestimated Holland for all we know.
Could be. I mean, a lot of unknowns with Holland. Guys not familiar with him. They know he was kind of thought of as a road ace. Holland himself says he's not a road ace at all. So we're not sure how to take all that. He did do very well last week at the road course, but did say he's an oval racer and he loves ovals, so he's showing it here tonight. Right now, we're looking at Bizzle continuing to march forward under David E. Brown, put him up to 4th place at the line. Bizzle now up 6 spots on the evening.
And he continues to move forward. Bizzle, I mean, he always is a guy that since he came in the league, Dean, he's always been a guy that's kind of figured out long run speed. He's teammates with Holland in the one, so I'm sure they're running something similar there. But Bizzle just didn't have the qualifying effort and had to really work his way through the field as Mark Hanna coming down pit road. I think that might be a scheduled stop, but they can make it from here. But it's you're going to be long on tires for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's breaking it up here into 2 pit stops. I'm not sure if that's something they have to do or he's choosing to do. What are we on? 70% fuel, I believe, Jared? And that would probably...
Yeah, 70%, yep.
I guess that would have to be a 2-stop strategy at that point.
Yeah, it's close. I mean, because you can usually do about 140 laps in fuel at Richmond, 120 to 140. So 70% of that, you're talking about 80-ish, 75, 80. So
yeah, 84 laps, I believe, on my little in-house Canadian calculator. And so, yeah, they could make it. So probably a mistake for Hanna, but who knows? Maybe he can come out and turn some really good laps here, as guys seem to be, slowing up over time here at Richmond. So it might work out for Hanna. We'll have to wait and see on that. Right now, Bizzle's all the way up to Banks now. I mean, I've been really impressed with the 8. I mean, I told him I liked his car paint, but I didn't know he was going to drive like this. He blows by Banks like he's standing still. Bizzle continues to march forward.
So that was the paint that Dale Jr. ran at this race in the fall. Dale Jr. runs 1 race a year in the 8 car for Junior Motorsports, and Bizzle running that car today for Filter Time. That's a company that Dale Jr. owns with the former driver Blake Cook for furnace filters. So there you go, a little information about Bizzle's paint. I knew I would get you that information.
Wow, I'm impressed, Jared. I thought we finally stumped you, but no, the unstumpable Jared Carr with the information again. I love it.
Yeah, I had to think about it, but and no, I didn't use Google.
I was gonna say, did you use your Google brain there? But
well, I just remember him and Josh and not Josh Anderson. Him and somebody getting together, and it was a big social media thing, and it was they did a charity about it. So that's the only reason I remember it. But anyway, so Bizzle doing a good job up to 3rd position, just ahead of Banks, and looking at some of these other guys. Kutstritza has gotten around Kinsey and everybody, so he's up to 6th position in that 31, coming to the front.
Yeah, 31 doing what the 31 does, and he's got Kinsey behind him moving forward as Kinsey got by Hanna just fresh out of the pits, actually. So Hanna looking to make a move with fresh rubber.
And Crownover's coming in, Dean, from a 9th place. He had dropped off way big time.
Yeah, Crownover there. I don't think that's all driver. I think that's a car setup issue there. That car not good on the long run, and Crownover is going to be looking to make some serious adjustments.
Yeah, drop that rear end and let it dig a little bit, because it is definitely not handled the way I think he wants it to. But what can you say about Holland? I mean, we're 55 laps in this race. Gap has come down about a second. And I was looking at the time delta chart. It was about 9.25. It is down to 8.6. I know that's not a big change, but there is some change going on here.
Let's have a look in on it here. So there was a big drop off during 1 lap there, somewhere around lap 51. Perhaps Holland getting loose or something, but after that, they're pretty much matching. And I think, if anything, Holland been slightly quicker. Oh, caution.
Crownover.
No, Crownover has made a mistake coming off of pit road, perhaps. And we're going to get a look in on it. This will be a huge detriment to Crownover's success.
Yeah, he looks like he just loose under braking, Dean. We talked about it. That car just stepped out right in the middle of entering 3.
Coming out on cold tires, down into 3, and yeah, under braking. Around he goes, keeping it mostly off the wall. Got a little lick there. Caution comes out. No damage for anybody else, but pit stop's imminent. Crownover going to be at least a couple of laps down now.
So now everybody's going to pile into the pits. 9 cars on the lead lap. Michael Newbraugh was spared at the end, actually just barely. was ahead of the leaders when that caution came out.
You see everybody coming in here as we bring up our pit board. And of course, Holland with a big gap on pit road, so he's going to come out first, assuming no major errors or damage to fix. I don't think he would have any damage. You can see Newbraugh there. He's the last taker, I believe. Nicholas Lamb coming around. You got Hughes. Hughes still out on the track, along with the 12 of Derek Cook. Or the 2 of Derek Cook, sorry, and Darren Paw here in the 12th. Paw been quiet tonight. They're coming in now.
These guys, good pit stop there. So Lamb is going to be the lucky dog.
Yeah, Lamb going to get your lucky dog. That'll send him around. I do believe he's not making any moves like he's the lucky dog right now.
He already went around, actually. I'm not sure why he didn't go down pit road, though.
So, and he managed to scoot up to second place, Jared. Is that going to be accurate here?
He'll have to drop back. I mean, lucky dog will always have to drop to the end of the longest line, so that's why I'm confused on why he bypassed the pit road. Maybe he's going to come. Yeah, he's going to come in this time, it looks like.
I think he just possibly a mistake there. No big deal. He'll come in and get service now. The 66 machine heads in. But Holland maintains. Pries now in second. Bizzle up to third. That's interesting. We'll see what he can do now that he's got a better starting position. Banks. You got Brown, Kostritza, and Kinsey were on the move. Bessinger and Newbraugh was looking to make some late noise. But these guys all reset now. Now we've got about 89 laps, Jared. Could we be talking fuel mileage here?
Well, it is close. With that 70% fuel limit, I think that it's going to be very, very close to see if you can make it on fuel. But I don't know. I think, maybe some of these guys at the back maybe top up here, but I think you can save the fuel you need. I think it's close enough to where you can save it, but will it be on everybody's conscience to do it? That's going to be the big question.
Well, it's always a couple of big questions here, and these could be race winning, losing decisions. If you split this up, you're looking at about, lap 105 or so would be splitting it in half. If you're trying to make it, you're probably going to have to be very conservative with the throttle, even on a short track, try and save a couple laps of fuel. That's one way to go about it. But do you pit at lap 105, or are you scared that a caution will come out? You stay out longer, or do you short pit? So many decisions, Jared. I love this kind of stuff because it brings out opportunity. If you're a 5th, a 6th, an 8th, a 10th place car, you can make some some out of this world decisions to try and make something happen. But we're about ready to go. Green flag racing. Holland and Pries up front. Holland gone.
Green flag.
Holland gone, and Bizzle gonna get underneath Pries. Pries trying to close it down, but Holland already had the foot in the door, and now Pries in trouble as he's gonna have to hold off those junior guys, and it looks like Bizzle to second place.
And Bizzle, man, he is hot. He's up 8 spots on the night. Pries, he was good on the long run, and looks like he's trying to be a little more aggressive this time, but not enough to hang on to or to stave off Bizzle.
Yeah, these guys were just as good as Holland on the long run. I mean, lap time wise, but the problem is they gave up all that time in the first 20 laps. So that's the difference. They got to be a little bit more aggressive here at the beginning of the run. Bizzle just gets in a little bit too hot in 3, holds up the track, and now Pries kind of looking, sneaking, sniffing into 1.
We got in the chat, we got TJ from TJ Travels on the box for Nicholas Lamb. So he's fighting a tight race car, and he missed pit road entry as well, so some problems for him. And we got Bobby Gibson out there watching, and he had a little internet problem, so we wish him the best, and glad you're here watching, Bobby.
Yeah, good to see those guys out there watching along with us and passing along that information to us. As Bizzle now starting to get that car going in the right direction. Pries just cannot seem to just catch up to the back of him now. and now his teammate Banks is there. Brown, got to shout out David Brown, David E. Brown in the 3 machine. Runner up last week to Holland, and he's backing it up with a nice top 5 run. But don't look now. Cody Kinsey ran around 11th all in the first run, and now he's kind of snuck his way to the back half of the sniffing on the top 5, Dean.
Yeah, Kinsey, I was going to talk about him right before the caution. Kinsey was really starting to come forward, so he looked good on the long run. Poor track position starting 9th tonight, and it hindered him a little bit, but he's got a little better position here, and he can, bide his time back here, save a little bit, make a late push perhaps. Or maybe, dare I say it, be one of these fuel mileage guys.
Yeah, that's going to be the question, right? We'll see what happens as this race goes on. Holland's already put up about an 0.8 of a second lead over his teammate Bizzle. Pries back up on the back bumper as Brown kind of sniffing underneath of Banks.
Well, let me ask you about Pries, because Pries backs out, right? But he doesn't back out for the run. It looks like maybe 5 laps, and then he's ready to come race again. Is that a strategy that you can deploy here in the Xfinity car?
Yeah, so the Xfinity car, people may or may not know this, and a little bit of information. The tires don't cure until about 10 laps into a run. So if you can manage those tires very well for 10 laps, you will have significantly better long run speed. So that could be what he's doing. I mean, and I shouldn't say cure. The tires are cured, but the heat threshold takes about 10 laps to kind of kick into the max. So, I think Pries is kind of backing that thing down, knowing he can get a long run out of this thing if he just, kind of doesn't use the stuff up in the first, 5-10 laps.
Yeah, great information there as always. As we continue to watch this battle, it's Bizzle and Pries. Actually, we'll look in behind. You got Banks, Brown, Kinsey. It's Kostritza and Bessinger now, and they got Newbraugh along with them. These guys battling for 7th place.
Yeah, they're doing a good job back here. Kostritza underneath the Bessinger there, and you look at these guys. I mean, Bessinger in that Joe Gibbs team. I mean, I don't think the Gibbs cars are kind of up to speed tonight. I think they're kind of fighting the car, but Bessinger, he's taking what he can get. I mean, he got up to 6th place, but he dropped off a little bit like Crownover did, but Crownover kind of dropped off the edge of the cliff, whereas Bessinger kind of found his place around 8th and 9th as that run went on. So we approach halfway here. I mean, I think Bessinger could be sniffing on a top 5 tonight.
Yeah, I think he could be right there. We'll see how he progresses. Lap 74, 150 as we approach the halfway mark. It's Wesley Holland in the 1, still out here dominating. A little bit less so, though, as Bizzle hangs in there, and so does Pries. These guys not, outside of striking distance here. Banks, their points leader, right in the mix as well.
This is working well for Banks. I mean, points leader coming in, having a good run here tonight. And, some of his bigger competitors not in the race tonight. Like we talked about Schaffer, David Lamb, not here tonight.
Covington.
So Covington as well. So, I mean, you got some guys out here that have an opportunity to pick up some points.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, holiday season about, so we're going to have some guys miss some time, there's no doubt. And we wish those guys the best. Hope they get back out here on the track. Right now, still Holland, Bizzle, Pries, Banks, and Brown in your top 5.
Yeah, Banks came in tonight 3 points over Crownover. Crownover shown 1 lap down in 12th position. Then you had Schaffer 6 points back, Pries 13 points back, and Newbraugh 48 points back. So, Banks going to pick up some big points tonight.
Yeah, and he does every week, every race. Banks is always here in the top 5. I'm looking forward to seeing him get up here and challenge for race wins as we go along. But now,
Banks. Sorry, go ahead.
No, please.
Yeah, Banks was, when you said that, I mean, 5 top 5, 6 top 10s. Him and Crownover, the only 2 drivers that have finished in the top 10 every race this year. Crownover 2 spots shy of keeping that streak going, so you might see that end here tonight at Richmond.
We might. Let's take a look in on our race for the lucky dog here as you got Hughes. Jason Hughes currently, I believe, in that spot in the number 7/58 on his car there. And Crownover, you see him there about a half a straightaway behind in the 18 machine. And he's got to be thinking about it. But with that car, the way it's operating tonight, I don't know how much hope there is for him of catching Jason and getting by him.
I mean, he's 3 seconds back, and you know he had pitted uh, before that caution came out, and he got trapped a lap down, so he took the wave around. But unfortunately, I mean, he has that damage. Number one, and number two, he's on older tires than most of the people on the field. I think actually the only person with older tires is Mark Hanna out there. So very difficult situation. He's just gonna have to ride this thing out, hope for another caution.
Yeah, maybe a couple more to get him back up there. Up front, still Holland. We pan out a bit, and you see he's starting to open it up as Pries moves in on Bizzle now. So these guys really, Pries continues to do the same thing, Jared. He loses a little bit early, and then late he starts to come on. But Bizzle, no slouch. They look pretty evenly matched here.
Well, Dean, I was noticing one thing. The big difference here is these guys are Holland is pulling away. I mean, there's obviously we're up to 2 seconds, we're a little less than 2 seconds right now. But the difference is we're 30 laps into the run. At this point, last run, Holland had a 4.5-second lead. So I think these guys being a little bit more aggressive this time around. Holland's still clearly the class of the field, but these guys not letting him get too far away. Maybe they can start reeling him back in here like they were before.
Well, and how much can adjustments play a role here at this track, Richmond, here tonight, Jared? Is this a place that is adjustment friendly, I guess I would ask?
Well, I mean, you know, the Xfinity car, there's a lot of different options on the car, so you have to kind of be careful with the adjustments. I mean, you got perches, you got tire pressures, but you know, if you're fighting a loose car, add some tire pressure to it. Perches can be a little bit complicated in the Xfinity car because you don't want to make that splitter hit the ground. So there's adjustments that can be done. And if you had a guy out there that maybe lowered the rear end a little bit, got a little bit more rake in it, might find some speed there. So we'll see. Maybe that's what Holland did, or I should say Pries and Bizzle.
All right. Bizzle and Pries continue their battle. Behind is Banks and Brown. And now look at Cody Kinsey. Up 3 spots on the night, starting to work on David E. Brown.
Yeah, David Brown kind of slipping back now at this point in time. Miss Kinsey underneath of him going into turn 1, and Brown's going to let him go. Nice move by Brown to just kind of say, I might get you back later.
Yeah, smart move there. It's early. Well, it's not necessarily early, but I think
somebody's in the wall. Banks is in the wall in front of these guys, Dean. He hit the wall a ton on the straightaway. I don't know if he just lost concentration, but that's going to bring everybody up to the back end of our point leader.
Wow, Banks there does a great job of saving that thing. We did not see him hit the wall. Definitely seen him come down the track, though. Don't see that out of the 4 machine too often there. A little lapse in concentration, perhaps.
Yeah, that right side very pancaked up. I mean, you can see it on the screen there, and it is now Kinsey is right up on the back of him. That could have done enough aerodynamically on the front end of that car to make him lose some straight line speed. I mean, it is crinkled up pretty good on that right front corner.
Let's see if we can get a better look at that damage there. You see a little bit there on our, from the suspension cam.
Everybody going around Marshall Layton there. He's had a tough night, 4 laps down in 17th.
Yeah, Marshall really struggling out here tonight. That car is not up to snuff at all, but he is persevering and trying to get around this track. Looks like Banks has gathered it back up now. It doesn't look like Kinsey able to get right to his bumper quite yet anyways.
Well, change in the lucky dog situation. Jason Hughes on pit road, Dean, from 11th place. That's going to put Crownover into 11th, and the first and only car just 1 lap down at this point in time.
So Crownover, I mean, he's got to be loving that and thanking Hughes, but also got to be thinking, Hey, do I gotta get on pit road now? I mean, how long can I stay out? Can I make it all the way? A lot of questions here on this race. We've got 58 laps left to go. Holland, your leader, but fuel mileage, a possible concern here. Someone might be able to make it.
Yeah, and I'm kind of circling this group, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh. Uh, they're starting to kind of queue up behind Banks here, and I just wonder if there's some fuel mileage game going on back here. Bessinger's in here. I mean, we got about 5 cars kind of within a blanket here. Newbraugh's not too far behind it either. So I mean, I don't know if there's a fuel saving thing going on, or if the handling just gone away that bad on Banks, and nobody just can make a move on them.
Yeah, well, hitting that wall obviously did not help that car at all. But right now, Brown looking underneath of Kinsey as Kostritza looks underneath Brown. And these guys are starting to try to battle, but none of them can really get close enough to complete any kind of move.
Yeah, a lot of these guys look loose off, and I noticed that the conditions have changed a little bit. We went from a kind of a partly cloudy start to now mostly cloudy, if you will. I mean, it is definitely cooled the track down, or track temp down, quite a bit, and I think that is opening the door for some handling changes in these cars. But nobody is able to really get off turn number 4 very well. I mean, very loose off the corner.
Yeah, all status quo right here. Bessinger blinking in and out a little bit as he goes underneath Pete Woodrum.
There's Banks again, almost hit the wall there. Kinsey rolling up on the back bumper of him. I mean, I know it's his teammate, but it just seems like he's a little bit tentative to try to pass Banks here, and kind of hurting his chances, I believe.
Yeah, well, Banks doesn't want to get freight trained either, so he best find a spot here to let him go. I would think would be wise. There goes Kinsey now. No, nope. He peeks and says no as they look in on lap traffic. Not sure where to go. Someone's going to look to capitalize here.
Yeah, Darren Paw and Derek Cook are the 2 drivers in front of him. There goes Banks underneath Paw. Paw will go to the high side. Well out of the way there.
Yeah, real nice move from Paw. Getting up and out.
Brown almost ran in the back of Paul. Nothing he did wrong there, but I think Brown just kind of swung out a little bit wide there. Almost out of
contact with Paw. They hold on to it. Paw into the wall. I think he's all right as well. We check in on him. Yes, he's okay. Wow. And Crownover is in. So Crownover vacating the lucky dog here. Interesting move from Anthony.
That was an intense moment. That's allowed Kostritza to get underneath Brown, move Kostritza in the 31 up to 6th position. But Dean, you're exactly right. I mean, Crownover on pit road on 53. I guess he's decided he can't make it. So I mean, that's that puts his fate of his race in somebody else's hands.
Yeah, and it could just be that. I mean, that car is pretty ill handling. Could be a tire issue as well. He just wants fresh rubber. Hard to say, but Kostritza up 2.
Right, man, flag.
Crownover again. Every time he pits, a flag comes out. He has got no luck tonight. Newbraugh, something has happened. Let's get a look in on it. Nothing here. It looks pretty good here. Coming off the exit, starting to give a little way. Everything. Oh, and he just drives to the outside wall, down to the inside wall. Jared, I don't know how to explain what I just witnessed. This looked like he just meandered up towards the wall.
That's the same thing that happened to Banks, except Banks was able to hold on to it and Newbraugh wasn't. But same exact situation, almost the same exact point on the back straightaway. And I just wonder if these guys are just a little bit overcrossed and it's causing what they call the death wobble down the straightaway.
Yeah, could be. And I mean, I don't know. Sometimes I think, I like to call these cars a fat so-and-so. And, because they can be. And you can come out of these corners and just underestimate how thick they really are and get into the wall. But this is further up the straightaway, so perhaps your analogy of the death wobble could be more accurate there.
But everybody on pit road, and Crownover again, he's just on pit road, literally right when that caution came out. So instead of being the lucky dog, he is going to be the guy that is now 14th 2 laps down, and he's just going to have to salvage something out of this race.
Yeah, it's just amazing to see the bad luck he's having. Pries comes out second, Bizzle third, Banks fourth, Kinsey, Brown, Bessinger, maybe. It looks like Cod Street says Bessinger might have disappeared.
Oops, I'm not seeing him on the track, so yeah, he is. The car has disappeared.
Chad Bessinger, apparent internet problems. That is never good.
And Marcana also got dropped as well. He's back in the server, but yes, Messenger looks like he has been dropped, unfortunately. So technical issues for the 20 machine.
Now, Derek Cook on pit road, I thought he was the lucky dog or was going to be. I'm not sure if he got it and come in now or if he's vacated the lucky dog, which would make Pete Woodrum the lucky dog.
Yeah, I think he was 2 laps down. So yeah, I think that he did get his lap back.
Get a look in on the score, and Cook still showing 2 laps down.
Yeah, apologies. I think he was 3 laps down at the time of the caution, Dean, and I think he's now down to 2 laps.
10-4, and we are showing Bessinger as out. So Bessinger has definitely dropped. This is big for Bessinger. He had some good long run abilities here tonight, and that's really going to hamper everything he was hoping for.
And Crownover has also retired, Dean, from the race. Has pulled it into the garage. Bessinger with that technical issue. Maybe he can get reconnected, get back in here, but for Crownover, he is done for the night.
Wow. Crownover, one of those guys who had all top 10s here so far. That streak going to be broken here this evening. On the bright side for Pete Woodrum, Marshall Layton, Darren Paul, these guys going to pick up a spot here and move up the board a little further. Newbraugh on pit road right now. You see Hannah still trying to, he was, kicked out of the service or whatever, the internet connection issue. So he's looking to regroup as best he can. Well, Jared, 44 to go here at the line. What can Pries or Bizzle do here as we get ready to go back to green?
Green, green, green.
Well, Bizzle Holland with a great start, but I think that's the key is you got to beat him on the line. And Pries trying to get back around, but Bizzle drives it into the corner, and that's going to open the door for Kinsey maybe to sneak through, but can't quite get there.
Kinsey does get underneath the Banks. So Banks down to 5th and Kinsey in 4th.
Kinsey, great move on the restart there. Banks now on the outside. Brown, I thought was going to dive underneath there, didn't do it. But Banks kind of running that high groove from 1 and 2, kind of leaving that door open a little bit.
Yeah, and I think that car has gone away a little bit after hitting that wall.
Continued to race there, and good run off the corner by Brown, I should say, right on the back bumper, but just can't quite get it. And then up in front of him, Kinsey has gotten up to the back bumper, Pries has gotten to the back bumper of Bizzle, but he just doesn't seem like he's got that drive off to make the move yet.
Yeah, the car just seems like hung up in the center or something, Jared. It's almost like it's pointed in the wrong direction. It just does not want to rotate through the middle.
Yeah, it looks like it's really tight. Chad Bessinger has rejoined the server, so he's going to get back out here and try to get some laps in, but he is 6 laps down.
So unfortunate. Brown making a move on Banks here. David E. Brown trying to back up last week's second place finish. He's looking to take over 5th place here.
Brown doing a good job there. I dropped something. Sorry about that. Banks trying to battle about on the outside there, and here comes Brown. Good move into the inside there, but Banks can get this run off the corner, and that's really hard to combat.
It is. Brown doing a nice job, though. But, I mean, Banks is going to battle hard for these spots, trying to win a championship. Kustritsa in here waiting for these guys to settle it out. He might be. Oh, and a little contact there.
Oh, and he disappeared. That's never good.
That is not good, especially in this kind of battle. But they make it work. Everything's all right.
Still side by side. Great job by both these drivers to give each other some room off the corner. This is where it gets tedious here off turn 2 because that off camber. Brown. Oh, Kustritsa, though. My goodness, he was looking at the infield.
He was staring at it, perhaps just trying to locate the Puda potty.
One of those things, right?
Puda something. I don't know what the heck I'm trying to say in here. Brown still working on it. Can't get it done, though. Give Banks a lot of credit. He's really fending off from the high side. And we talked about it. You can get it done on the high side here at Richmond. Banks proving that.
Give a tip off to both these guys. I mean, this is 5 laps in a row. They've been side by side.
Brown's
yeah, Brown's lost it there.
And that's going to give Kustritsa the momentum here. He's going to come in and take that spot away.
And don't look now, Nicholas Lamb or Lucky Dog, or one caution ago, not the last one, but the one before it. He snuck his way up into the battle. Good recovery for the 66 machine.
Yeah, nice to see Lamb up here making a recovery back into 8th place now and starting to look pretty good here. He's going to challenge Brown, getting right up onto his bumper.
And just easing his way through there. I mean, he is the last car on the lead lap, and he is 2 laps ahead of the guy behind him, Derek Cook, in the number 2 machine. So here we go as you jump on board with Lamb, and he is all over the back of Brown, but Brown did get a good run off of the corner there.
You got Banks up here. I think we're on the wrong car. We get on board with Lamb. And wow, that's some tight action, Jared.
Yeah, I thought that there was a hole there, and it's kind of hard when, the guy's kind of jumping out there, unfortunately. But Lamb doing a good job, being conservative. I don't think he wants to stick his nose in there on the car, without being right alongside him.
Yeah, it's really tough, guys, blinking in and out to whether you want to risk it or not. For you, anybody watching who doesn't know, the internet will have a prediction of where you're at when the connection is low, and that can get jumbled at times and can cause some issues, but so far no issues here. Now a 4-way battle for 5th place, and at the back of it, Nicholas Lamb with new opportunities now with about 30 laps left in this thing, and he can sniff a top 5 finish now.
Yeah, and there's a line queuing up behind Banks, just like the last run. Banks, Kustritsa, Brown, and Nicholas Lamb. They are about 1.5, 2 seconds behind Kinsey, who's dropped off a second to Bizzle, but Pries, while all that was going on, was able to get around Bizzle back to 2nd place.
So Pries, let's get a look in on that pass first of all. So here comes Pries. They head down into corner 1. He's behind Bizzle. Bizzle, a little loose on entry, down onto the apron. That sends him up the track. Pries down and through. And, so a little unforced air there. Newbraugh coming in, or coming off of pit road, I should say. Unscheduled stop for Michael Newbraugh. That's not going to be good.
Yeah, he's just getting his damage repaired, so he's 15 laps down, trying to just make some laps out here, maybe catch a guy out and get some points here, Dean. But I'm going to have to step away for 2 seconds, and we'll keep this action going.
All right, as we run down our top 5, you see Kinsey up to 4th. Banks, we'll stop here and watch this battle. I mean, this thing is raging on. You got Banks, Kustritsa, Brown, and Lamb, and they are not giving up. Lamb's falling a little bit off, but still right there. Brown, or Kustritsa, I should say, desperate to get by at this point. I mean, it is so tough here at Richmond, And Banks, a heck of a driver and good, but he's a little off the pace with that damage. And these guys probably could walk away a little bit if they could get around, but just unable to do so. Continue to watch these four guys go at it. Banks now looking better and better. Kostritza drives in a little too deep that time, and up the track he goes. So Banks fends him off for that, 20 laps or so, and now he's starting to look a little bit better as Kostritza closes in just when I say that. Streets a little better run this time. Gonna come up underneath Banks and look for this position. They hit down into 3. Banks closes the door.
Yeah, and you look at this gaggle kind of queuing up here, Dean, just like it was before. Banks has got a good car, but I don't think he's got the best car of the group. And here comes Kostritza, gets an edge underneath that 4 car in turn number 2.
Yeah, he keeps getting it off of 2, Jared, but he can't beat him into 3. And Banks just closes that door. This time, Banks leaves the door open a little bit. And Kostritza going to get a better run off, but no, can't quite do it. This is going to open the door for Brown. And this is the old problem, is when you're going for a spot, sometimes you don't get it, and then you lose 2 more, Jared.
Yeah, and you have to wonder. I don't think it's going to happen, Dean, but you never know. Somebody might lose patience with the situation. Give a little bumper, though. I thought he was diving in there deep, but Kostritza, a class driver, I don't think he's going to give the bumper yet.
Well, I mean, it's not necessarily the wrong thing to do. Now, I'm not for taking guys out. I'm not for really contact, but if you're significantly faster and you get down in these races, to move a car is not necessarily a bad thing to do, Jared.
These guys are just bunched up like sardines in a can. I mean, it is insane. 4 drivers under a blanket, less than 20 to go. Holland, the gap to Pries has come down to about 1.6 seconds. So Pries not making big inroads, but he is kind of thereabouts. But this battle back here, amazing. This is for 5th place. And all these drivers, Dean, they won a top 5 finish here tonight.
Yeah, they all want it. They're working hard at it, and this is some of the most fun you're going to have when you're in these battles. It might be frustrating while you're on the track at the moment, but really it's what you do this for, is to have these kind of battles and outwit someone, outlast someone, outperform someone.
And you look at it, I mean, Kostritza, no top 5s this year. Nicholas Lamb, no top 5s, only 1 top 10. Brown, 1 top 5, and it was only back at Daytona, our season opening race, where he finished second to his teammate, Bill Hales. And you see Brown looking underneath the 31, kind of forces his way through there, and now Kostritza stuck on the outside.
Yeah, Kostritza, so what we talked about, he's up there battling for the spot in front of him. Brown waiting for his opportunity, has it now. Kostritza on the outside going to hold him off. So tough to pass on the bottom.
Yeah, so tough, but Kostritza, I mean, he wants that 0 out of the column, right? I mean, he wants to get up here and get around Banks. Banks has got a 5-race top 5 streak. He finished 6th at Daytona, so he wants a good run as well.
He does. They all want it here. It's 15 to go now, Jared. There was no concerns. When's our last pit stop here? We'll have to bring up our pit board here.
Yeah, everybody came in on lap 102 or thereabouts, and no concerns about fuel. Everybody's good to go.
So we show our stint length there. Everybody really in good shape. I can't see any problems there whatsoever. They could easily do another 25 laps. There's only 14 to go here. All is well.
Banks actually opened up the high side to Kostritza by accident, but Banks was able to power back around on the inside. Now Nicholas Lamb looking underneath Brown. That's a battle for 7th place.
Yeah, well, Lamb might be in the best spot. Well, he's not in the best spot, but I mean, he's been back here, and if he's been patient, he might have been saving a little bit while these guys fought, and he can make a move. Here goes Kustritsa one more time.
Streets on the low side again. And, talking about Nicholas Lamb, 8th place all the way back at Phoenix. He's had 2 DNFs. I mean, it's been a tough year, finished 13th last week. But this has got to be a shot in the arm for him regardless if he's, going to finish. Looks like, he's going to finish in the top 10 no matter what. I mean, he's 3 laps ahead of the next guy. Don't, never say never, but looks like he's going to have a good run out of it.
Yeah, definitely going to be a boost to his confidence here.
My goodness.
Oh, Banks a little loose there off. Brown right there almost into Kustritsa. And here comes Lamb on the outside. I love the outside move from Nicholas Lamb. That's how you get it done here at Richmond.
That was such a smart move by Lamb because Kustritsa was trying to get under Banks and Brown was trying to get under Kustritsa. So Kustritsa had to play defensive and Brown left that high side open. And now he's under attack from Nicholas Lamb.
Yeah, and this is the better place to try to pass from the high side. The only problem is, Jared, if you haven't run it all night, do you know how to run it? It takes you a few laps, and no, he didn't have enough time to kind of get his footing there on the high side.
Man, Kustritsa, looking at that rear bumper cam, it was all the way up in that Camaro logo on the front of the 31. He is there.
9 to go, and that bumper's getting closer and closer to Banks. Banks got to consider letting him go. I mean, he can't with 8-9 laps to go, but you don't want to get the bumper put to you either.
Wow, unbelievable. Kustritsa one more time on the bottom. He wants that top 5, looking for his first one of the year. Can't quite get underneath there. 3 and 4 is the determinant for Kustritsa. That's where he's losing his time.
Yeah, he's much better that time off of there, but can he get enough to get in here? It looks like he did. A little harder on the brakes this time. Kustritsa side by side, coming off of 2.
Kustritsa, best finish this year, 10th twice, trying to get to a top 5 for the first time this year. Slides it down in the corner, still side by side with Banks off 4.
Off of 4, he's now a little ahead of him. Kustritsa going to take this spot. Brown looking to follow him. And no, harder on the brakes. Banks rolls in tougher. I don't know, off the corner. It's still side by side, Jared. Here comes Lamb again.
My goodness. This, first off, tip of the hat to all 4 of these drivers. What a show they are putting on tonight. Unbelievable driving. Talent right here, Dean.
Absolutely. This is what you love to see. And Brown gets loose. Lamb goes by. So Lamb picks up a spot. Kustritsa now uses the pick of Cook, and he's by Banks.
That was the move right there. He used the pick, but Banks! Oh, what a move by Banks!
Banks drives it in hard. That allows Lamb to come up on the inside of him after the corner. 5 to go. Lamb starting to work the inside.
And now Nicholas Lamb, he's kind of, if I was Nicholas, I it looked like he was saving his stuff up. He might have a little bit of power on that bottom side. Kustritsa is able to get away from Banks, though, with 4 to go here. So Kustritsa not looking back.
Banks is driving his hurt out. Lamb's loose. Down to the inside. Brown goes by. And he's back to where he started. Man, now he's battling Brown. These guys are driving their hearts out.
Yeah, for all these drivers except Banks, they're looking for, and Brown, they're looking for their best finish. Lamb and Kustritsa, both, 10th place is their best finish all year long. They're looking for something better, and Lamb back around Brown as we're down to 3 laps to go.
Well, that was some great action there from those guys, putting on a show. Lamb still hunting down, and he might be able to catch Banks, but let's give a shout out to our race leader, Wesley Holland, on 2 to go here. Got himself a 4.5 second lead. What a night for the 1, looking for 2 in a row, Jared.
He comes down turn 3, and that car, he hasn't put a wrong move all night. He's led every lap here tonight, had the fastest lap. They call that in Formula 1 a Grand Shalom. So there you go. Wes Holland taking the white flag.
I'm not going to attempt to say that, but it sounds pretty grand. And Wesley Holland through 2, now headed down into 3. here at Richmond Raceway in the Ayers Iracing Paints 150. Wesley Holland, your race winner. Jesse Pries going to come home in second. It's Bizzle in third. Kinsey fourth. Kustritsa comes home with a hard fought fifth place. Banks holds off Lamb at the line. That's going to be sixth and seventh. Brown coming in eighth. That's your lead lap cars. You got Cook, Paw, Layton, Hannah, and Newbraugh are going to be the guys left on the track.
What a job by Wes Holland and Pries getting it done, running home second, and Bizzle coming up there to congratulate Holland before the burnouts. But what a deserved win. Back-to-back wins for the one machine.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much you can say because, and that's the great thing. When you win a race like this, you might not get a lot of accolades or a lot of time on air. That just means you're overly dominant, right? You've done a better job than anybody else. You were prepared more. You had a great car. You drove it well. The one machine did it all here tonight. That's two in a row for Wesley Hollins. Pries again with a great finish along with Bizzle. Those guys doing an awesome job as well.
What a
Right now,
race. I mean,
Jared, let's go to a quick commercial break. Talk more about the race when we come back and get those tough. Welcome back here to Richmond Raceway, where the one Wesley Holland is your race winner. Jared, Wesley did a great job, but that battle, man, for fifth place, that was outstanding stuff.
yeah, what a job by Sean Kustritsa grabbing his first top five of the year. Lamb with a great run in seventh. And, what just great hats off to all those guys. I mean, they were able to race clean and competitively. And, nobody, moved anybody. Nobody wrecked anybody. Nobody gave contact. Just good, hard race. And you love to see it.
Yeah, you absolutely love to see it. And we're down here now with Brian Bizzle, third place finisher tonight. He would have loved to have seen a little bit more, but what a great job, Brian. You moved up 7 spots on the evening, got yourself another top 3. Congrats on a great finish.
I appreciate it, guys.
So, Brent, talk a little bit about the car, how it was handling early versus late in a run, and what you had to do here to make your way up 7 spots.
That first long run we had, when the tires started going away, is when I started picking up cars, and I felt like I had a lot better tire management than the rest of the guys out there. And then those 50 lap runs just wasn't long enough for me to do what I needed to do to get past Jesse. He was extremely fast.
Yeah, Jesse did a nice job on the long run, and you guys fought it out a little bit. You know, when you look at this race, now what about the qualifying run, Brian? I mean, starting back in eighth, you had to be disappointed starting back there.
I know, don't take 2 spots from me. It was 10th. Qualifying was horrible. The setup was, I couldn't drive it. I'm horrible at qualifying all the time, anyways. So I'm used to coming from the back to the front.
Well, Brian, you do it great, man. We watched you. We love what we've seen out of your driving and your long run ability out here. You're going to put together another big points night. You're going to move up in those standings here. We look forward to the next few races. What do you see? What do you like? What are you looking forward to?
Uh, I'm looking forward to having Brandon back and Dustin back when we come back in 2 weeks. I think we could have had a top three junior motorsports night if we had Dustin and Brandon in here.
Yeah, missing some big players there from the team. You did all you could tonight. You're going to head into the Christmas break now. So, Brian, want to take this chance to, wish you a happy holidays, a Merry Christmas. Enjoy your time away from the track here. And we couldn't be happier to see you come back after the holidays and cover these races. Congrats again on a third place. You want to give any shout outs? Now's the time.
I'd just like to thank the team for practicing during the week, getting this thing right, and 2 weeks in a row we have a car in victory lane, so we're obviously doing something right.
Definitely doing something right, Jared. That's Brian Bizzle, third place finisher tonight, doing something right.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm sitting down here with runner-up Jesse Pries. Jesse, what a run! You had second place, but didn't come easy. Brian Bizzle gave you all you can handle and tried to get up there to the one machine as well.
Yeah, I didn't have anything for Wesley, but it was fun racing with Bizzle back there.
Yeah, so let's talk about your race. I mean, the beginning of the race, you started out fairly good. I mean, you started on the pole, led the first lap, and you look like maybe you're conserving tires through that first run. I saw you drop back to about fourth or fifth position before you started picking your way back through the field. But by that point in time, you'd already given up about 8 seconds to the leader. Were you just being conservative at the beginning?
Yeah, I was kind of thinking the tire fall off would be a little worse for them guys, but I didn't want to push it too early. On this setup we didn't work on near enough this week, and it was a little bit too loose, and especially on entry we were having a lot of issues. But I want to be conservative at first and let things work themselves out and give us all a little more space to work with before I could really push it.
Well, you definitely pushed it when it came down to it, and then we had that caution right in the middle of pit stops, right I think right at the end of the or right at the beginning of the pit stops there, and you were side by side with Holland again. Had a good restart, but did you just need a little bit more there to get alongside of him?
Yeah, we didn't have near enough grip in the rear on these. I'm not sure what happened to the setup, and like I said, we didn't spend near enough time on it like we normally do, and kind of thought it'd be better than this, but I had to tighten it up quite a bit in practice just to get it drivable. I'm still happy, I guess. Like to see Schaffer out here because this is his home track, and he loves this track. Sorry to see you had to miss it.
Yeah, Eric, big name missing tonight in the 0-1 there. But Jesse, I mean, what a race for you heading into the holiday break, 2 weeks off. How would you assess the performance of that 0-4 team so far?
Oh, we're doing pretty well. Gotta pick it up in a couple spots, and uh, I'm getting too close to first, and need to pull out a victory eventually. I'm missing out on the bonus points here.
For sure. Well, Jesse, congratulations on that runner-up finish. I'm going to turn the mic over to you and let you have the last word here tonight.
Yeah, I just want to thank you guys for putting on a good show here and great broadcast, and all my JD Motorsports guys. It was
All
a tough
right, Dean.
race for a couple of them, but it was fun.
All right. Well, Jesse, congratulations again, Dean. That was our runner-up, Jesse Pries. I believe you're down with Wesley Holland, the race winner.
Yeah, I got the number one in victory lane, Wesley Holland, 2 in a row here at Richmond tonight. Congrats on a great victory, Wesley.
Hey, I appreciate it, guys.
So, Wesley, I mean, really beginning to end, you're on the pole, you run right through. You're opening up a big gap. Any concerns that you're out there maybe pushing a little too hard too early?
Honestly, it's just like I told you guys last week. I'm just trying to get points. So every week, maximize points, and hopefully, maybe try to get in the chase. Who knows? I don't know how it works around here, but I just know I need points at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. You need a ton of points. I mean, you got some wins. I think those will get you in, depending on, the criteria of it all. We'll see how that plays out. But right now, you got to be loving what you're seeing. Now, we watched you getting into some of these corners, and what I noticed was a bit of a shallow entry there. Was that purposeful? Is that due to the car setup, or was it just something you like to do here at Richmond?
Oh yeah, the setup that Brian came up with this week, it was real heavy on rear brake, so I knew if I could back up the corner early and then just get down to the yellow line, that was my best shot to get a good shot off the corner. So kind of by design, just backing corners up and getting to the bottom and just getting a good drive off. That's what you needed down the straightaways.
Absolutely. And, Wesley, you talk about Richmond in particular, I think at 3 and 4, and how important it is to roll that line down there. Is there any tips or tricks you'd like to share with anybody on how to make that car roll that center a little bit better?
Oh yeah, like I said, just a lot of rear brake. I mean, it's kind of a driver's thing. Not everybody likes to have so much rear brake in it that you kind of you can easily spin out or slide it up the track. So it's kind of just experience at that point. Uh, just being able to drive a really loose race car. So yeah, I mean that's the only tips and tricks I got for getting around Richmond. Is just I kept the car real. We kept the car real loose for this race. So I'm glad it panned out there.
Well, you talked a little bit about sliding up the track, Wesley. Now, I did notice a couple of times, I wouldn't be lying if I told you I remember what corner, but probably out of two, sliding up awful close to that wall a couple of times. Did you have any concerns at all about getting into that wall?
I'm surprised I didn't hit it 4 or 5 times a night. So that's all I got for that. I mean, like I said, if you hit it or if you came off the corner wrong and you weren't on the or you didn't get on the throttle the right way, it was just the setup was so loose. So not very many room or not very much room for air coming off the corners or entering them. So it was just trying to stay focused the entire race, hitting the bottom and kind of rolling it so that we didn't slide the tires all race long.
Well, you did a great job of it. You have to stay focused. Loose is fast, but only if you can keep your mind in the game and stay with it for the whole thing. You did that here tonight, taking home this victory. We head into the break now, Christmas time. Everybody gonna enjoy the holidays. Maybe I dare I say that a bad time for you. You're so hot, but nonetheless, I'm sure you'll enjoy the holidays, Wesley. And congrats on this great victory and two in a row now, man. And we look forward to seeing you out here trying to make it three in a row in a few weeks from now. But if you got any shout outs, anybody you want to thank, now's the time, brother.
No, I appreciate it. Yeah, I appreciate you guys and the broadcast. That's a cool thing. I went rewatched last week's broadcast there, and you guys do an awesome job. So shout out to you guys and Marshall putting on this league. Didn't know nothing about it until a couple of my buddies, Brian and Dustin, hit me up about it and asked if I wanted to come run. So free on Friday nights. Here I am, and shout out to them for getting me over here. Brian for the setups, and my other teammate over there, Jason, he came along with me. We're usually just sitting around watching TV on Friday nights. So fun to be here, and yeah, had a great time tonight.
All right, Jared, that's our race winner, Wesley Holland in the number one machine, making it two in a row.
Yeah, good job for him. I mean, what a job he has done since he came into the series, and he's a good professional driver. And I always like to see those guys. And he has
Yeah, he really does. He really has proven that. The road victory now backs it up on a short track. We'll get to see him on some mile and a half in the future. As we're gonna have a couple of weeks off here, Christmas time. These guys taking a break, so we'll see you 3 weeks here on Friday. But don't forget to come and join us on Thursday nights. We've got Wind Tunnel Racing and their Xfinity series. Always exciting there. Jared Carr along with Chris Spear in the booth for that one. But for myself, Dean Doucette, and for Mr. Jared Carr, that's going to wrap it up from Richmond. We'll see you right here.